It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we're going to be taking a look at a can of Brewdog's Planet Pale Ale. It's the Pale Ale coming in at 4.3% ABV. They had a Pale Ale a couple of years ago, just called Brewdog Pale Ale. They seem to have replaced it with this. 330ml can. Without further ado, let's get it out into a glass and see what we get. So, this whole planet saving thing that Brewdog are on, I'm very interested in it because I'm 42 years of age now. I've owned this house for 21 years. When I bought this house when I was a 20-year-old man, so hang on, 21 years, I put some saplings in, some trees in. It was a horrible concrete yard out there. Quite a big garden, but all of it was really just concrete with just a few little areas of flowers and plants. And what I had to do was break up the ground to be able to plant and be able to do something with it. The ground is full of clay, rock. It's just not very good soil or ground out there. So what I've chosen to do was I've chosen some trees and I put trees in as saplings, and I've nurtured these trees for a long time. And now they're at a stage where they're 20-30 foot into the sky, and they've managed to burrow down through all the concrete, all the clay, and it's into good soil. You can see that the trees are thriving, and I'm really proud of that. Now, this whole message from Brewdog is that they've planted, and this is the reason why I'm mentioning this, is that they have planted a forest, or they've planted some trees in a field and they're trying to make a forest. I think we'll get into detail. First of all, you're here for a beer review first of all, but I want to get into detail on this whole kind of planting thing. So let's look at the beer first. Let's take a sip. We've got a one finger whitehead, slow moving carbonation, a slightly hazy straw coloured beer. Let's get the aroma. Immediately smells a million times better than the first pale ale that they produced. It's punchy, it's zesty, citrusy, a little bit of carbonation. You can just feel the carbonation hitting the underside of the nose. It smells pretty good. Let's dive in. Cheers. Oh, I don't think it's too far away from the original pale ale, you know. I think it's the same malt recipe, but they've really added quite a few hops here just to flavour it up. The first pale ale was dreadful beer. But this is much better. It's got a tutti fruity tropical flavour to it. There's a bit of orange zest in there. There's a bit of passion fruit and mango. And then what you're getting at the back end is that, first of all, you're getting the hops. And then on the back end, you're picking up like a grainy, malty, biscuity flavour, which I certainly remember from the original pale ale, because that's all you were tasting. So a much better balance to this beer between the hops and the malt. It's okay. I bought a 4-pack of this in Tesco as part of their new beers that they've launched. Whether this is just into Tesco or whether you can buy it in Morrison's and other selected supermarkets, give it a try, I suppose. But I picked this up in Tesco. And immediately I'm thinking, I've got another 3 cans of this in the fridge. Am I going to get round to drinking it? Yeah, I think I will. We'll do the Stone Crow Virtual Pub on a Friday night and I'll crack a couple of these pale ales. It's quite pleasant. I think we all know now that this is not the Brewdog of old. I've come to accept that. I'm at peace with myself now that we're never going to see the Brewdog of old. We're never going to see that craft brewer that we've seen up until about the year 2015, where they were producing absolutely world-beating beers. I'm past all of that now. I'm past wondering if they'll ever get back to that, because I don't think they ever will. But just drinking this as it is, and reflecting on the price point of this, it was about £1.30 a can. Around that price point. It's alright for that price point. It's alright. I've bought Aldi beers for that price before and they've been terrible. At least you're getting something a little bit tutti fruity here. It's balanced. It's grapefruity. It's citrusy. It's passable, you know. It's passable. I think that's where we all are now with Brewdog. It's just passable beer. But I want to go back to this sustainable thing that they're going on. They're zero emissions and all of this stuff by planting all of these trees. Now, what I would like to know, and I'm hoping there's a website somewhere that I can find and look, and maybe they've got a webcam looking at these trees. I'm not going to sit there looking at the webcam 24 hours a day having a look at these trees, but I'm very interested in this because I've carried on with my planting out in my garden. There's a little bit of scrubland outside past my boundary, I must admit, past my boundary, but nobody's taking care of it. The council's not doing anything with it, the locals are not doing anything with it, so I've gone out and I've planted another 40 trees. And I've spent the last year watering them, feeding them, taking care of them. If they blow in the wind, I'll stand them back up and I'll compress the root ball back down, and I'll make sure that, you know, they're looked after. What I want to know is, because it's all very well saying, okay, we planted a field full of trees, but the field full of trees really need looking after. In the first year of their growth, they will experience livestock trying to eat them, people vandalising them. They'll need constant watering every 2 or 3 days. And that's a lot of labour. That's an awful lot of labour. I mean, I've struggled to keep my trees going with the dry summer we've had. The first 3 or 4 months, I thought I was going to lose some trees. I was kind of feeding them with all sorts of tree feed and tomato feed and watering them and compacting the soil and putting more soil in. And that was just for about 20 odd trees, 30 odd trees. Imagine putting a whole field full in. I hope that they've not just gone, right, we've done this, we've planted these trees, and they've walked away from these trees, because that would be really naughty. That would be really naughty, because the council do that, housing estates do that. You see, like Barrett and Persimmon, they have a legal right when they build houses to plant a certain amount of trees. But what the legal right is when they get planted is that they don't have to look after these trees once they're planted. So you'll see in the middle of summer they'll plant a tree and leave the damn thing with no water and no looking after it, no maintenance, and you just see this thing die. And then they go, oh, we planted the tree. We planted the tree. There's nothing we can do about it now. What it should be is the house builders plant the trees and then they have to look after them for the first year of their life. That should be the law. And I hope Brewdog have gone down that same road of they're going to look after the trees that they've planted, or we've planted a field full of trees and now we've left the damn things and they're all dead and you know, but oh, we planted them, we made that effort. I want to know more information. I'd love a website, somewhere to go, somewhere to look at this thing and just to see just a bit of an update on this forest, because I am genuinely, it's one of my passions in life. I love gardening, absolutely love gardening. So rating for the Brewdog Planet Pale Ale, you know, you can see lots and lots of people buying this beer because of the effort that they put in with planting this forest. But if they're not looking after the forest, then all of this is just fake, isn't it? It's not real, it's fake. But I like the beer. It's okay. It'll never be Brewdog of the old. It will never be that ever again, I'm afraid. But it's still worthy of a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.